My name is Steve Pokin. I live in Springfield, Missouri. I was born in Chicago, grew up in the Chicago suburbs, went to the University of Illinois. I have been a journalist, a print reporter for over 40 years. If things go well, hopefully I will be one of the few people who can say I can spent my entire career working as a print newspaper reporter. I think when COVID hit a year ago, I was like many people, and I thought it was going to be maybe a stronger version of the flu. I had no idea what was in store. I have lost an aunt who lived in Chicago, who died of COVID. Fortunately, me and my wife and my son have not contracted it.
You've been vaccinated.
I recently was vaccinated. I had my first shot just 2 weeks ago. You never realize how your life is going to be impacted, and what are you going to do? Who are you going to see? I'm a runner. How close should I be to my running buddy? Do we wear masks? I don't wear a mask when I run. My running buddy, she contracted COVID. She's fine. I know several other people, co-workers who contracted COVID, and they're fine. I'm the columnist at the News Leader here in Springfield. I have had an occasion several occasions, obviously like our entire staff, to write about the disease. I think the story I'll most remember is I did a feature story on a woman named Angela Hughes who lived in Republic, still lives in Republic, and 4 generations of her family contracted COVID at the same time, including her, and she was very, very sick. Her grandfather survived. Her mother died, and her 2 children had contracted the disease and had mild symptoms. So there was a full range of the impact on the family. I go out on assignment. I wear a mask. I covered something on the square here in Springfield. During the summer, people were gathered to protest the fact that the city had declared which businesses were essential and which weren't, and the ones that weren't were generally the smaller ones, and they had to be shut down. In hindsight, I don't know if that was handled the best way, but there was a gathering on the square of about 50 to 100 people, not a big gathering, of people who were protesting that rule, and I went out to cover it. And there were a lot of people, including some who told me that they believed COVID was a hoax. And I remember interviewing a woman who was not wearing a mask, and we were near a little gazebo where there was music playing, so it was hard for me to hear her, so I got in close. And she didn't necessarily believe in COVID, and I'm interviewing her and taking notes, and she's talking so loudly that I actually at one point feel the spit coming out of her mouth hitting my hand and my forearm. And that made me think. What risk is there to that? Should I be doing this? And I promptly ended that interview, wrote my story. I'm one of the few people that goes into the newsroom. We have this big old empty building. But primarily, that was just a matter of happenstance. March of 2020, here at home, my wife spearheaded a project to redo our kitchen remodel. So Gannett, my employer, encouraged people to work from home, but I had more people here in my house making noise than in the cavernous newsroom. There were 1 or 2 other people. So I've continued to go into the newsroom. There are a couple other guys in there. We are socially distant, and actually it hasn't been bad. But I look forward to my fellow co-workers coming back.
It's been a year of this, Steve. Has it affected your mental health, your happiness?
No, I don't think so. I think I'm generally a pretty optimistic, happy guy. They're just, you know, I had a long time coworker who retired. Traditionally, we would have a party, and oftentimes it would be here in my backyard. I bought space heaters. It was in December, and I remember every single day thinking, should I have this or not? And you know, so it's not by far not a great burden, but even decisions like that is, and then finally I decided, no, I'm not going to have that. You know, the vaccine's on its way, and who you see, where you go. My son is much more cautious during the whole pandemic year. He would not go to a restaurant. My wife and I have done that. We wear masks. We try to go to places that aren't crowded.
But I mean, so it hasn't curtailed your Thanksgiving or your Christmas or your get together with friends. You don't feel estranged at all. You don't feel that you're lacking in those in that way.
No, it's just we have good friends who invited us over for Thanksgiving. And there's like a week when, like, every day I'm thinking I'd love to go. I should be able to go. This person, and I think this person was vaccinated. That person, and then eventually we as a family jointly decide, no, we're not going to do that. We'll see them next year, and we'll see them in other ways. And it would be a couple. If it was just the two of them, we would go out to dinner with them, but they're inviting several people over, so we passed on that. There have been many occasions that we've passed on getting together with people.
What do you see for the future, and then any final thoughts?
For the future, I think just a real appreciation for life, for getting together with friends, seeing people. You know, if there's an annual booster shot, that's a small price to pay. I'm not concerned about that. I'm still, you know, I know a lot of people say they're never going to handshake again. I'm kind of a touchy guy, so I don't see myself changing that. But I will do my best to respect the wishes of others. And I, you know, when I got my shot, and I just, you know, the trend now is people post on Facebook when they get their shot. I know I waited for a while and to get my shot, and I was wondering, you know, when am I gonna, you know, why are these other people? Good for them. I'm glad my friends are getting the shot, but it always, so I did not post that photo, that selfie. I have a good friend who recently did, and what I really appreciate what she did, she started her caption with her photo was in memory of all those who've lost their lives and all those in grief. And I think of them as I feel fortunate to get my shot today. So I think that's the way to do it.
Thank you, Steve. Today is the 16th of March. We're in Springfield, Missouri. Thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome.